The Toronto Blue Jays lost 7-4 to the Minnesota Twins. The winning streak ended at 2. George Springer broke his toe, and it was a rough afternoon at the Rogers Center. I felt really good about the Jays heading into this game 2 against the Twins, not because Toronto got the home run ball going on Friday night, but because they played clean baseball and they hit when it mattered. And that's what they were missing during that losing streak. And you could see they were playing loose and having fun. And when ball players are having fun, things are going to go well. Things started out great for the Blue Jays. George Springer drew a leadoff walk, and then Dalton Varsho went deep for a second game in a row. And for a minute, it looked like Toronto was going to pick up where they left off game 1. Eric Lauer, who was hit hard by the flu about a week ago, he surrendered a walk through 2 innings. And despite his velocity being down, he was locating pitches well. Things went south in the 3rd inning. Bases loaded, walked in a run, defensive mistake by Dalton Varsho, and 7 runs later, the Toronto Blue Jays trailed by 5. Patrick Corbin only went 4 innings Friday night, and Toronto needed innings desperately. And despite being shelled in the 3rd, Lauer pitched into the 6th inning. And I got to give Lauer a lot of credit. The Blue Jays needed innings, and to go out and pitch after being rocked for 7 runs and throw 95 pitches and not give up another run was important. I agreed with John Schneider and Pete Walker's decision to keep Lauer in the game. First of all, Lauer stopped the bleeding. We know the offense is capable of making up a 5-run deficit, but as long as they weren't cutting the lead, keeping Lauer in the game and saving the bullpen for as long as they did was the best possible outcome. And you also have to give a tip of the hat to Spencer Miles, who had a solid outing and ate up the rest of the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, saving the entire bullpen for Sunday with an off day on Monday. Look, obviously, the worst news of the day was George Springer leaving the game with a left toe fracture, meaning there will be a corresponding roster move in the next day. But you can't just replace a George Springer like you just couldn't replace an Alejandro Kirk. And the Blue Jays are in a tough spot. I said this during the Dodgers series. It feels like if it can go wrong for the Blue Jays, it will go wrong. And there are things you can control on the field, and then there are the things that you can't control. And these are the moments that John Schneider earns his money and has to put his players that he has on the roster in the best position to win. Looking at the Blue Jays situation with a bit of optimism or that glass half full kind of mentality, if you're going to go through this, you'd rather go through it in April, May, and June and not in July, August, and September.